What's that? I thought it would make the board feel sad. Did you see the comment about the manual check?
Yeah. We should buy a package and give it to him.
He didn't say that. I just want to see if you read my emails.
Oh yeah.
We read them all.
All 72.
I thought it was funny. That goes to the company. That doesn't go to him.
I know,
but
he said I really need them.
uh,
Oh, I have 2 minutes.
Put an IOU in his envelope.
yeah.
I'll put Monopoly money.
How are you? Good. Good to see you.
My property's paid.
Gentlemen, you ready? Madam Clerk?
Okay, yep, everything's on.
Town of Vernon Board of Supervisors meeting for Thursday, May 3rd, 2018, 6 p.m. Call to order. All rise for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Chairman Thomas Byrd,
Present.
Supervisor Jeff Millies,
Present.
Supervisor Gary Wildy,
Present.
Supervisor Ed Moline,
Present.
Supervisor Bill Craig.
Present.
Mr. Chairman, do you have a quorum of your board president and DPW Director John Henneberry is present also?
Okay, thank you. Open meetings law.
Mr. Chairman, the agenda was posted inside and outside the Vernon Town Hall to the media, to businesses within the Town of Vernon and the Town of Vernon website. You're in full compliance with the open meetings law.
Okay, public comments. Are there any public comments? We've got a full house here. Would you like to make a public comment? Would you please come up to the front and state your name?
She might be the person on the, are you on the agenda, Mary? Are you Mary Jo?
Yeah.
Mary Jo's on the
No,
agenda.
Do we talk now or no?
We have an agenda item
Yeah,
4
okay, that's great, I didn't know, but I didn't.
for that issue. We also have Boy Scout troop that's in here tonight, Troop 26, correct? And they're just watching government in action for one of their
In action.
for one of their badges.
I'm glad
And that
that's
was
in
for the community.
Oh.
Oh, good, good. Hope to see you all here when you finish your Eagle Scout project, so if you hang in there that long. So there are no public comments? Item 6, possible closed session. At the end, we'll have that at the end of the meeting. It's consideration and possible action on a motion to convene into executive session under the following provisions of Wisconsin statutes 19.85, Pren 1, Pren C. Considering employment promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data for any public employee over which the government body has jurisdiction or exercise of responsibility, specifically the performance evaluation of the fire chiefs. And Wisconsin State Stat 19.81 Pren 1 Pren D to consider strategies for crime detection or prevention for the Vernon facilities. And Wisconsin Statute 19.85 Pren 1 Pren E, deliberating, negotiating the purchasing of public properties, investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, more specifically negotiation of a board agreement with the Village of McWanago. And Wisconsin Stat 19.85 Pren 1 Pren E to discuss an internal government agreement with the Village of Big Bend. Included in closed session will be the town board supervisors, fire chiefs, town clerk. Motion will require a roll call vote. That's a lot to read. Okay, and that'll be at the end of the meeting. So, miscellaneous matters, item 7. Following matters will be discussed and possible action taken by the town unless otherwise noted. Item A, donation or remembrance of Ron Rogan in Heather Ridge Park. Residents and Mike selected. Asked this to be put on. Are there any residents here?
Are you Jess?
Would you?
Yeah.
You guys
like
want
Daughter Jamie.
to- Would you like to come
Jamie, I
up?
didn't even recognize you. I remember you when you did speak. Should we get another chair?
Yeah, but
Hi.
could you just state your names and addresses, please?
Oh, yeah.
Just for the record.
Jess Scrub, S59W31564, Heather Drive, North Prairie.
And Jamie Coldaway, 306 Oakland Avenue, McWanago.
Okay. So, this is a donation for remembrance in Heather Ridge Park. So what are you looking for, what are you planning, or what would you like, or just give us some background on it, or?
Sure. My dad did a lot of umpiring, coaching of all the T-balls. I think his most recent was doing the flag football, coaching and umpiring. And just looking to do possibly a plaque or maybe a sign. He worked with Poblocki Sign Company. So I kind of contacted them today to see if they would possibly make like a sign just saying in remembrance of Ron Rogan. So, or possibly naming one of the fields after him is the other idea that we had.
At Heather Ridge.
At Heather Ridge Park.
Okay. Would this be something that would be mounted on the ground or mounted on the backstops? What do you think, John? What would be the less maintenance and where would we have the less type of either vandalism or whatever for that type of an object?
I think on the fencing itself would probably be out of the way, it wouldn't be interfere with anything else.
Up higher?
Yeah, you know, maybe
Okay.
something up on the backstop area,
Yeah.
you know.
Because your dad did a lot of reffing for the adult softball also.
Sure,
He was
yeah.
involved, except for ballet. He didn't do ballet.
We
Probably
have,
would have if you
we
had.
put the banners up along them sides anyhow. I mean, there's no reason why it would affect the view of anybody if we did something like where we put the banners.
And it would be something that we would provide, we would donate.
Mm-hmm.
So, it would just be in remembrance of them, so.
Remembrance.
And my mom lives within the neighborhood, so it was kind of like a surprise for her. She doesn't know that we're here, for a place that she could go and the grandkids could go.
Supervisors? Any comments?
Yeah, we worked with Ron pretty closely over at the Lions. He was very active in that as well. He provided the sign from where he worked at Poblocki's for the Lions over there.
Yeah.
And I know that, once he passed, there was a memento put up for Ron on the bottom of that sign. So I'm in favor of whatever, within ordinance or reason we wanna do. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't have a problem putting anything up on
Gary?
I knew Ron for almost 30 years, and I think this is a great idea. The only thing we need probably is to have the wording on the plaque, how we, bring it back as a presentation in regard to what you'd like to see on the plaque, and what kind of plaque it's gonna be, how big it's gonna be.
Size.
And you might wanna talk to John or work with John and kind of come to
Right.
some idea what would work best for it, but I think it's a great idea.
Bill?
I would agree, just work with John for placement and installation.
Well, we don't, okay, thanks, Bill. We have here a donation policy for the town. We don't often get donations to the town, but we still have a policy that covers that. If you want to get a copy of this from the clerk, hey, why don't you just give him mine? Let's get one, it's online. But, get those parameters, and like Gary says, what you want to put up, we'll need a location, and where you want to put it, and we'll have to approve that. Then we'll need what it says, we'll have to approve that, and what, and we'll figure out, and you'll probably have to come back again.
Okay.
And have it as an agenda item again when we get all that information and get that up there, and we'll just keep it moving along.
Perfect, okay. Wonderful. Is there anything else that you need from us then? Just contact you?
Yeah, just kind of give you some ideas of what types of signs you're looking at.
Okay. We already have ideas,
Okay.
Yeah.
so we can send them right to you.
So-
Everything goes to the clerk or DPW director, and then they'll disseminate it for us, and get the open meetings law. If I talk to you, fine, I can't talk to the supervisors, I can talk to one, but I can't talk to all. Works better if it goes through the clerk, and then everything can come through us.
Jamie, my deepest sympathies to you and your family. Your papa was a great
He
man.
was, thank you so much.
Is this isn't a surprise, because this is going on YouTube.
She like half knows about it
Okay.
already, so. That works out only.
So don't be surprised if somebody said, hey, I saw this on YouTube. Surprise!
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Jess.
Item B, flooding concerns from Payne and Dolan berm affecting residents' properties on Martin Drive. Is there anybody here from Martin Drive?
Mary Jo.
All right, do you have a spokesperson? Or do you have someone that wants to be a
I
spokesperson?
guess that's me. Like it or not, I'm the one. I actually have some pictures if you guys want to kind of take a peek at those as we're kind of going through this.
And then we also have a map.
Yeah. So anyhow, my name is Ron Ghostwright, and Bill Ghostwright, South 84 West 22885 Market Street. So our concerns are water runoff, and that berm is part of it. Well, could be part of it. When Big Bend put in the quarry, or when they were quarrying out for that Lake Park residents, or some estates that they put back in there, they put up a berm 6, maybe 10 feet long, high, along the hall, or the east side of our subdivision.
And let me just stop right there. And I know Bill Craig had stopped out at our residence the other day, and he does have a photo of himself in front of that berm, just to show how tall it was. I don't know if you want to share that with the board.
So we're not sure if that has anything to do with rainwater runoff or not. Could be a possibility. We've noticed this is getting worse and worse, kind of ever since that happened. So with rainwater runoff, we're kind of concerned about erosion where it runs over the top of ditches. And you can see by the picture, damage to property and buildings. And that particular photograph that you're looking at, photographs, came really close to going up over the top of my vent line for my septic system. And probably got within about 5-6 feet of the house. So that's kind of a big concern of us, and kind of looking at this, as we get rains and water start running down, it runs basically east to west down Meredith, and down Martin it runs south to north, and we're on that corner. As the water gets to that point, with the ditching that's there and the culverts, or lack of culverts in spots, there's no place for the water to run off. It doesn't go under the road, there's no culverts going under the road to direct water around to 164 to where the storm sewers are. So what ends up happening is it kind of stops there, and any high spot in between there, it runs over the top, not over the street, and down into the yards, as you see in those pictures. So we're kind of looking for some sort of resolution on how to fix this problem. If it's going to be redoing the ditches and something under the street and culverts to get the rainwater out. Now in summertime, it also does the same thing, but of course the ground's not froze. It leaches into the water or the ground pretty fast. In wintertime, it literally has nowhere to go. And it turns that whole area into about an acre and a half, 2 foot deep pond. So that's kind of our concerns. You know, we're kind of looking towards you guys for, you know, some sort of resolution or support. So next time it doesn't get high enough to actually enter into my house.
Do you have any drainage plans of that subdivision? When the roads were built?
I have nothing of when the roads were built for that new subdivision, no. I just know that before
No,
we started.
I mean your property, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The berm is a great, you know, you can point your fingers when you want at that.
That's not.
I don't know if
We're
that's
not
it.
doing that at all.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because, you know, if your property was draining out there before that berm, well.
We
That's
don't
not
know.
what we're going with.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
what we're going
So,
with is there's a
we need
problem.
more information. We need to look up the roads from your subdivision and when they were doing and what type of drainage there was built for that. We need more information.
Well, our subdivision was existing.
No, I'm talking about when your road was put in, all the way back. There's gotta be data on road heights, there's gotta be data on culverts, there's gotta be data on ditch heights.
And you want us to provide that?
Yeah, I'm kind of slightly confused. I mean, the subdivision's probably been there 60 years.
Before our time.
Well, hopefully we can find some information on that.
And I do know that, I don't know how many years ago, you guys did redo the road, which
Yeah.
now made the road higher than what it used to be.
Since we lived there.
Yeah, that was maybe
In 20
10,
within
12,
22
13 years ago or so.
So what does that have to do with the ditch?
Well,
You're saying the water used to run up over the road, and now the road's
Well,
higher,
you just
now
asked
it
about the
takes...
road, so I was just saying they did do something with the road. What I have to say about the ditch is, for the water to get out of our subdivision, like I said, I'm on that corner of Meredith and Martin. From that point, there is no culvert underneath the road to get any kind of rainwater that's coming down towards my property from the south to the north and from the east to the west. It gets to that point, there's nowhere for it to go. There is no culvert, there is no ditch going under that road. And then when it gets to that point, it goes over the top of the ditches, not over the top of the road, over the top of the ditches and down into the yards. So there's no exit for the rainwater to run out of the subdivision. It has no choice but to leach into the ground.
Are you aware of this over by that corner?
I stopped there today and looked at it.
What's your evaluation of this?
The yard is lower than the ditch, first of all. If we can contain it into the ditch, it still needs to go somewhere.
Right.
And at that point, when it gets to that corner is probably higher than this driveway when it goes up. So it can't obviously go across the road.
Right.
And it funnels back into the yard, which is considerably lower than all the ditches along there.
With his mentioning of culvert, does that have any bearing on this at all?
the only way you could solve that by putting a culvert either to the west or to the north, but you would be down pretty deep just to make it functional. Unless you built the whole berm up along the whole backside of the ditch to keep it contained into the ditch. But I don't know if all that water is coming down the ditch itself. I mean, all the backyards behind to the east of you are all sloped down towards your backyard also.
Correct, so a lot of that water does, say, forget about the ditches, that does end up back there, but that's a percentage of it. Everything else that's supposed to be going down the ditch and out of our neighborhood goes over the ditch. So a majority of that water, the ditches, it's just going over the top of the ditch, down into the neighbor's backyard, my backyard, the other neighbor's backyard.
Yeah, after it hits his driveway, it basically has no place to go. You know, so.
Yeah, there's no exit plan for the water
Yeah,
whatsoever.
it just can't get out. Like I said, in summertime, being as the ground is, it leaches in real fast. If we get a good hard rain, those ditches will fill up, it will run over the top.
With the rain that we've got yesterday, last night,
I was gonna go out there last night, but it was raining too hard.
was it clogging? I mean, did you have standing water this morning there?
No, once the ground stops, when it thaws out, it leaches out incredibly fast. I mean, if
I was
it's
gonna
a
say,
summertime.
that's all gravel there, so
Yeah, it's all rocks, it's all good, but with the big problem is like
frozen
this.
ground.
Yeah, so when we had that big, huge
No.
meltdown, I actually took a post hole digger and I drilled a couple of holes down past the frost line. Within a day and a half, the water was gone. Where other places were still flooded with water. So there's no exit, like I'm trying to explain here, is as it comes down, yes, a lot of the neighbors kind of does end up there, but anything going down the ditches from the whole neighborhood, east of me and south of me, all runs towards me, and once it gets to that point, it goes down and it just fills it all up.
And two, that night of February 20th, I know John, you had stopped over.
I stopped over, I was out checking the roads that night, and he was out pumping, I just stopped to see how things were going, because.
And like one of those pictures are us pumping our garage out into the lake, and then directly,
Hose on.
yeah.
Yeah, I sealed up underneath the door, and I put a pump in just to keep the inside of the garage dry.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say, and I don't know my directions real well, but across from our driveway, so whatever direction
That
that
would
is.
be north. Larry King's is north.
Larry Wolf.
Or, I'm sorry, Wolf.
His yard flooded right
It was into the road.
into the road, like it encapsulated like 1/3 of the road. And that whole corner around there has 0 culverts, 0 drainage pipes. And I know one of the neighbors stopped over today and was saying that their culverts and their drainage pipe too now are, I don't know what word, they're just going away. Like he said, it used to be where, you know, you'd have to drive your tractor like this, now you can just drive right over it.
So is it, have the ditches been throughout time here kind of filling in?
I'm really gonna say, what I wanna do is I wanna start and do some research as far back as we can go and find out what
Okay.
it was supposed to be.
Sure.
And then we can do that. I'm gonna read you what our attorney wrote.
Sure.
Because water problems are a slippery slope for the town. I mean, we've had situations before where people, you know, your water's running on my land and you're flooding me out, and they come to the town and they want relief, but we normally don't like to get it, and we don't like to say anything. We gotta take a look at it. That's what we have to do. This is the first, I've known about it, but you've made, and I wish you would fill out a complaint form. We have complaint forms. Fill it out, and so we've got to document that along with your picking up the copies of the pictures to start the process.
That would be great.
And gentlemen, I don't know about you, but with the attorney being here, I think we should put that on the staff also, so we can talk about it. But I'm gonna read what the attorney says here. The town board needs to be, proceed with caution. He's warning us here. From the information provided, this appears to be a private matter. I don't know. We're gonna have to look at it. Unfortunately, many drainage problems are not municipal problems, and the law does not allow the town to get involved in those problems, okay? So, that's mostly a standard, hey guys, don't say anything,
A standard
look
CYA.
before you leave,
Yeah.
you know, proceed with caution, and that's what our own town attorney is, we wanna help you.
Yeah.
And we,
And that's
well,
what we're
we
looking
only
for
can
support.
do what we can, you know, what the
What
statutes,
you're
and
allowed
what we're
to do,
allowed
yes,
to
sir.
do. Cause we don't wanna set a precedent of fixing everybody's, you know, this, that, and every other thing, that costs taxpayers a lot of money.
Sure.
Keep John busy.
Well, I mean, there's a, farther up the road on the corner of King and Meredith, if you, I don't know if you've been through there, there's a culvert that runs over the road, it's only open on one side. You
Okay.
can't even see it on the other side, so across, thank you, across Meredith and Martin, the corner that we're in, since the 22 years I've been there, I've never seen one.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that
And
there
we've had-
isn't one that
Right.
was
We've had
there once
such-
upon a time, and it's now filled in and it's covered with dirt and you don't even know it's there.
And we've had cold weather, and then we've had the snow, and then we've had the thaw. I know I've had, I got 10 acres, and on my property, I've got a low spot.
Yep.
And it drains from the road, but
I'd be okay
it
with
doesn't
that.
affect
We are the low
anything.
spot.
But that's the first time
Yeah,
in
we are.
30 years I ever seen water standing there. And it's went up so much, it run down,
Sure.
and I thought, wow, I didn't build a house there.
Well, I don't have the unfortunate, thing.
Go ahead.
Is this gone on previous years, or was this the first year you've really had this water problem? And you mentioned the berm that was built around the lake property over there.
Yeah, I don't know if the berm has anything to do with it, I did just wanna bring that up. I didn't know if there was a study done on the effects of that berm with runoff from the rainwater. Several years back, we did have flooding back there, but not to this extent, where it actually came, you know,
We had
4
a huge
inches deep.
spring with the
So,
freeze, the
yeah,
thaw.
this year was
and a lot of
exceptional.
water.
A lot of water, so it's really bad if we get the rains before the ground thaws.
Okay. So it's not new this year, this has been going on, it's just a matter of
It's getting worse.
increased volume.
Yeah,
because
it
of the
seems to
weather.
be getting worse. I mean, when he stopped over, it was 4 inches deep into my garage, and it's never
Yeah,
that
that's
high.
when the ground was frozen.
Yeah,
It had no place to go.
yeah, it's just
Yeah,
laid
but
on
we had
top.
flooding all over town at the same time, so it wasn't just one spot.
I gotta agree with Tom, you know,
Look into it, yeah.
do a lot of,
We need to do some research on,
Sure, you
have John look at some stuff and.
like,
and,
have John take a peek at it too.
you know.
I don't know if you wanna see our map, I don't know if that'd be beneficial to you.
If
where
you-
Yeah,
the
anything
culverts were.
that you have, you could leave with the DPW director.
Is that from the county?
Sure, I can give
Is that
you
the
this
county
and then-
GIS map?
Then and then we just put our notes on there, where there were culverts, where there weren't.
Call me tomorrow, I want to show you something else you can
I just kinda
do.
drove around
Call me
and,
tomorrow.
you know, kinda where I circle some of
And
these
then
little
you would
bullet
like
points.
me to
Yeah,
give these to you
my wife
tonight,
will
or
do
submit them
things
with
The
our
complaint form, and
Where
then
this is our house, our corner
submit
here.
the pictures with the
Yeah, we
complaint
have to
form,
go
so
in
we have a
front
record
so
of
we
it.
were to
Sure.
see
Sure.
what's,
And would you like,
Yeah,
the way to tell.
I mean,
also,
you were there,
the
you
other
can see
people
all
here
this. Once
to
it gets to
file
that
a
corner,
complaint form
I'm
then
done.
too?
Yeah, if they
If we
wish,
could get
yeah. All the
across road
affected
and
properties,
down
we'd
to
like to,
164,
Side
yeah,
down.
that'd be good.
Alright,
you know.
I made extra for you, Mary Jo.
yeah, then you'll need that.
Either 50%
Oh, you did?
I did,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
I figured, because you said there
Yeah.
were,
Okay, yeah, and that, I guess in closing, that's what we're really asking for the town to support us on this, and
And whatever we
We'll
can
do our best,
Whatever
whatever
you
the
do.
legal limits of what we can do.
Where we can, we will.
Yeah.
Well, because I know I can't dig a hole across the
or
road, you
maintaining
know,
the
so.
ditches, I mean, I don't think we can go in there and dig them.
No, I don't know what the setbacks are there for.
I'd have
If
to
it's-
double check
you have-
what it
John's
is.
got it down.
Yeah.
Because they are anywhere from 30 to 60 feet from the center of the road, so we have to figure out what is ours, and then look at what is ours, and.
And what we can do also, you know, as residents, you know, we'd like to
Mhm.
know that,
Right.
so,
So do we contact, say,
What's the next
you, or are you gonna
steps, or-
contact us when you come up with
I would say
something?
go, send everything through the clerk, and
Yeah.
she disseminates it to John,
Okay,
and then she'll give it to us, and if you need it, call me.
okay.
well, thank you for your time.
And then you'll keep us posted as to what we should do? or-
right, right.
Okay, all right, then we'll be in
Karen and I
touch.
talk every couple hours.
12
during
minutes.
the day.
All right. Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right.
Mr. Ford.
Sure,
Can I say something?
sure.
Culverts.
Is it on this, is it on this issue?
Yes, it's on this issue.
Okay.
I'm Carl Fortner, it's my daughter Kristen Fortner, I'm a longtime property owner down at Martin Street on the far east end, and we've been there since 1987, and that subdivision is approximately 45, 50 years old. My daughter lives there now, and I lived there for many, many years before that, since 87. So to just provide some information, I think that subdivision is probably 45, 50 years old. The ditches have never been reditched, except on one occasion on Marta Street, when your predecessor, Mr. Salentine, I mentioned to him that, you know, there was standing water on Marta, and then the town came in and ditched a little bit of it to get the water off. I mean, standing water on roadways is not only a safety issue, but can shorten the life of that road significantly. So that's the only ditching that I'm aware of for 30 years in that subdivision. So to kind of tie together these points that I think people were making is we got to look at those ditches and culverts.
Right.
And, you know.
That's why we need more research.
More research.
More research. Hopefully we can find something with elevations or not have to
Well, the
get the
plan.
engineer involved or whatever. like
The
that.
subdivision plan.
The subdivision plan.
Although the grading plans aren't gonna be like they used
The other little
to.
subdivisions within the subdivisions that happened during that period of
Mhm.
time. And being a former town supervisor, I'm well aware of what was going on.
30 years ago?
I wasn't a town supervisor until 98, so.
98.
So that's really, I just wanted to provide a little bit of historical background. You know, happy to provide information where we can.
Okay, yeah.
But I will say, the water was the worst I've ever seen it. And I was there twice a day during that period of time. She was out of town, so I was plowing her driveway.
Did Kristen have flooding?
No.
I'm up on the hill, so.
Oh,
Our property is right at the end of Martin Street, and then the berm is across the fence. And we didn't have flooding in the yard. You know,
You butt right up against, Big Ben's,
gravel pit, or a subdivision now.
or the industrial park there.
Well, the industrial park is across the subdivision.
Yeah.
So when the berm is good, I mean, they left the berm, which is fine for us,
Yeah,
because it is noisy over there.
it is very nice.
From the subdivision?
Especially the new
Yes,
construction
from the
and-
subdivision.
oh,
Construction noise and the people.
And the people.
Well, you know, because the road is right there.
Yeah.
Everybody's driveway's out there, they consider that a lake, so the front of their house is on the other side of
So all
their
the
house.
kids
Oh,
play.
that's right.
So that everybody's out in the road.
Basketball and everything out in
Oh.
the road.
Best thing that could happen is that all water drained away, that lake drained away, and they were all desolate.
Well, if there is a water problem, it's that first table of water, 30 feet, and it is draining that, killed the trees in our yard.
Killed 30 trees.
So the
30.
complaint that we would have is it's killing trees, and it's not just our yard.
Yeah.
It's all the way around.
They
My
screwed up
neighbor
everything.
behind me, also next to the berm,
The
his
tree
trees are
tree
dead.
roots are into the water table, and if that drains, those big tap roots have
Yeah.
are not picking up the water.
If we have water monitoring in that area, we have a house that does it, and historically, after they built that lake, the water went down a certain amount of feet, and it stayed there, but if you look at that lake, you can see how low that was. That's the natural water table there.
Right, they just dug the gravel pit into the first water table, the
Right.
30-foot line. It's like a bowl, it goes
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
And they just dug it into that
that's the
first
water
water.
level
So
there.
that's the water level that you see in that lake. And they've opened it up to the air and the surface pollutants and so on.
It was expensive, losing that many trees, because we had to cut them all down, and they were all 60, 70-foot pine trees.
Yeah.
30 of them.
oh my
And it
God.
was
What kind of
very
trees were they?
expensive.
Pine.
Pines, spruce spruce, they
Lumber.
were beautiful trees.
Did you cut?
Oh, yeah, that's right, Bill Bronk, yeah, we bought our house from Bill Bronk, that's how long it goes back. I mean, that was the early 70s, wasn't it? Yeah, or late sixties, maybe, sixties
Well,
or
we've
seventies?
lived there since
Yeah.
73.
73, right? And
Yeah.
the
And
Browns were there before that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marge, when did you say since 73?
Yes. And this was the worst we've ever seen them.
The worst water, yeah, on both sides of Martin Street.
It
Very
flooded
good.
King
Property
Street,
was just-
and then it went across the street into the ditch, and then that's where the problem came. He's the lowest, everything ran that way, and it had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
It actually ran over the road from Wolf's house, down into our yard, and we're right next door to the grocery.
Those pictures that I showed you, a lot of that looking out of my property is the back of their property.
Okay.
And on the angle, the other building is, the Tim's property behind us. And they're next to us, so I showed John earlier how far it encapsulated 4 yards.
I'm like, they're bigger than mine.
It was well over an acre's worth of water back there.
Right.
Oh my God.
Taxes are
That's
probably
a lot of
go
water.
up, leak frontage.
Have a
No
pond
taxes
built.
on
The
that.
DNR will declare it.
It'll be in Shoreland. Won't be-
Yeah, there's nothing we can do.
We're kidding if you're listening.
Just kidding.
Any other comments on the water issue?
Don't want to monopolize that.
Any other comments? Any other comments? Okay. Item C, request for the wetland delineation for properties on National Avenue in Hillview, property owner Diane Conan, and the property on Paradise Drive, Greg Olson. So what these people are asking for is for a delineation. And Madam Clerk, do you want to tell board members how that will work?
The Southeastern Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission does do wetland delineations for individuals at the request of the municipality. The one on Hillview and National, you can see the wetland delineation was done in 1995. That's pretty old, and you can see it also has a garage on it, so that's you're seeing the age of that property. Also, the one on Prairie Side Court, which is across the street from Morningstar, you can see, if you look at the maps I provided from the county's GIS system and on his certified survey map, or his plat map from his subdivision, the line, there's a great deal of ambiguity as it relates to what the line on the certified survey map says and what the lines say on the county's GIS maps say. So when I indicated to both these residents that the town board could consider the Regional Planning Commission to do a wetland delineation, the only drawback is it takes a long time. It's not something that they do quickly. It's something that takes a long time to do, well over a year.
Is that because of backlog or?
Staffing and the demand, yeah.
Well, we could get the ball rolling on it if nothing else.
Well, we have to ask for it.
Ooh, pardon? Yes,
We have
I
to
said we
ask
could start the ball rolling, but
And this is at no cost to the town, correct?
No, yes, there's no cost
There's
to.
no cost to the
Well,
taxpayers of the
for
town.
free take.
And they use it as an educational tool for some of their new hydrologists and their new staffing. The gentleman that used to do it, Vincent, I knew very, very well, did it for years. It's a neat thing to watch them do the analysis of where those lines go. But both parties know that if the town board would approve this request to do a wetland delineation of both of these properties, the property owner, it's for them, whatever Regional Planning Commission needs as a tool to them, they would have to provide. All the town's doing is requesting it, for that person.
Karen, I would assume as old as this is, they're probably gonna have to go and get a survey done of that area again, what do you think?
Oh, that's why, if the property owners have a certified survey map, that's good enough for the Regional Planning Commission, because there was a lot of, the entire Waukesha County was remonumented back in 2000, and some of these properties, not the Prairie Side Court, but the Hillview one is a very, very old property. And if you see that, I mean, there's virtually, maybe if you had a 15-foot house, there's no way you could ever meet the setbacks, even if you took the garage down. Not that, I mean, so those people need to know if that's an unbuildable lot, their only recourse is to sell it to an adjoining property owner, because it's never gonna be a buildable lot. There was a house on there many, many years ago, but it burnt down. That's why you see the,
Now,
yes, so.
Because they usually come in and do that, delineation, it's worse than what it was previously on the maps.
I
It's
think,
bigger.
Bill, wasn't yours better? When the regional planning commission did, yours wasn't wetlands, yours was an environmental corridor. And after it was reviewed, they did find that the corridor was not as significant as it was indicated from both the county and the town. So it's not a bad thing to do.
Well, now they're willing to swap. You can have an acre wetland if you provide an acre and a half of non-wetland.
okay.
That's the latest DNR thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Waukesha
The
did
key
that.
is you've gotta have
Yeah.
that other land to swap.
Yeah,
When they put up some condos on the south side, there was in an area that was a wetland, and they traded that land for some other land, which to me is asinine. How can you say, now this land over here is now a wetland, and this one isn't anymore? It's just all legal gobbledygook, as far as I'm concerned.
They're getting good land for bad.
Untaxable to taxable.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's exactly what it was.
That's
Go where the dollars go.
That's where the money goes.
The thing is with environmental corridor, there's a lot of judgment, very subjective judgment
I agree.
involved. With wetland, you either have these plant lives there or you don't.
Yeah.
So there's quite a difference in how they delineate.
And the modeling of the soil is a significant factor also. And if there was any, if the property owner did do any type of topsoil laying, that has there's a lot of issues that go, a wetland delineation, I'd be curious to see how these play out. But that's just me.
So what do you need from us? Do we need a letter? I have to sign it and
Yeah,
ask for it?
you would instruct the clerk to draft a letter for both properties and bring it back to the town board for your review and approval.
So I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Oh, go ahead.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Who seconded that?
Ed did.
Ed?
Yes.
Yes.
Discussion and possible action on the resolution of the Town of Vernon 2018 fee schedule. Madam Clerk?
One thing I wanted to bring up to the board is, as you know, we have members that are on the Lions Club here, and one of their major fundraisers is renting out their facility. As the Moose Club does also, I believe they charge $375, and Gary, what is the?
That's $200 per day with a $100 deposit.
And we currently charge $25, which hardly covers the electric and garbage cans, and I brought it forth to the town board for two reasons. I don't think governments want to compete with nonprofits for their fundraising ability, but also if you look at, the cost of renting a facility, $25, I don't have any problem with the $75 deposit, but I think $25 is pretty darn cheap to rent a hall and have that type of, not that, I'm not saying we shouldn't rent it out, I just think the board should consider changing that fee. And if you're also looking at fees, not that you have to do that also, but one of the things Mike talked about last year is the rental for fundraising events, or looking at the rental fees. I did provide some information what other communities do, not that you have to do anything, but since the fee schedule is on the agenda, anything you feel it would be warranted to discuss or change, it's at your discretion. But my main issue is the renting of the town facilities. The fire station is the only area we get those big requests for.
Well, we got the VAC at $200.
We can probably get a discount on that
It's
one
in the
right now.
newsletter too, we gotta get rid of that in the newsletter.
Yeah.
What's
Holding
that?
classes in the BAC according to the newsletter going out.
Yeah, that's, we got that from Mike.
Mike has to fix that, cause
Okay.
it may not be fair.
Nobody goes in there.
Okay.
Not even the rats.
Well, what do you want to do with this, gentlemen?
What's that?
Do you want to raise the, Vernon
Raise the
Fire
fees?
Department and Town Hall from $25 to Muskego, $375.
Yeah, see what the.
Lions Club is $200 with a $100 deposit.
Right.
I think the $100 deposit is good because they get that back, but then what do you want to charge
What kind of
for
fee?
the hall?
150.
150.
I'd say at least 100.
Karen, just out of curiosity, how often is are these facilities rented?
We have a lot of nonprofits that, not a lot, but several nonprofits that use it, and those you let them, that's free, but the people have just found out that they can do a baby shower for $25.
Oh, okay.
So once it gets out how cheap our prices are,
Here they come.
yep, and goodbye to our Lions Club.
Well, the fire department, when you say, I know the Boy Scouts are over there, we got.
We have a quilting club,
Fox River Planning.
Southeastern
goes in there.
Wisconsin, yeah, so there's maybe 4 or 5 that fill out a form but they have to be a legitimate nonprofit.
Well, I do the same thing with the Lions Club. You know, if it's a nonprofit, it's generally free, or if it's like a fundraiser or something, the maximum then is $50 because that covers the cost of the lady that comes in and cleans, and the electricity and the water, and just general use of the facility. But that's what the nonprofit
Well,
fee is.
that's the attorney says his policy decision phrase, remember the fees cannot exceed the cost of processing the permit or money spent for the facility.
Yeah.
So, $25, I don't think that even covers cleaning up.
No.
Okay, so 150, I think is too much.
100 is. Can we delineate 2 different fees, a nonprofit fee and
You already have that. You do charge a deposit for nonprofits, but you don't charge them.
Oh, yeah, I see, $75. They're exempt for the rental fee.
I mean, somebody having a baby shower, somebody having a wedding shower, I mean, they're all tapped out anyways.
True.
Believe me, I've been there.
Twice. Yeah, I like Jeff's idea, $100. You know, I think $100, it isn't an excessive amount, you know.
Whatever, I just thought $25 is pretty cheap.
Yeah, well, it doesn't cover the cost of cleaning.
Not worth it, unlocking the building for them.
Can we justify it if he's saying he cannot exceed the cost of processing the permit? If that's all it takes, it's not $100, so.
Yeah, but we gotta clean it up.
Well, and the other thing is that you had to build the building, you have to maintain that building. I mean, there's other costs in processing.
Going by what he says, I think it's wrong. I think it's kind of missing a few things, isn't it? 'Cause you got maintenance costs, you got cleanup costs, you got all, there might be destruction, which is
Well,
like.
what he wants, I think the main thing on that is not exceed and can justify the cost.
Yeah.
Or you could do
Don't
it,
exceed the cost that we can justify.
We could justify it.
you do a
Now, if we
resident and
put
non-resident.
$500 on it, how you gonna
That's-
justify that? You
I'll
can't.
charge you $400 to clean it. There.
Are you personally gonna do it? Oh, that might be
Business.
worth the looking at.
It's cleaning.
I'm watching you.
You could consider doing a resident rental and a non-resident, because a resident is
Or you
paying
pay
for the
taxes
upkeep,
out.
or,
Yeah.
I mean, that's another, I hate to throw that in there, but like you do for an ambulance transport, you have a fee for people that,
I think that's getting
Resident fee
too,
and non-resident fee, yeah.
I don't think it,
to me,
anybody who wants to
that's,
rent, it's usually a resident anyway, it's not.
yeah. Or they'll just get somebody they know in town that sign the thing.
Want a motion?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to change the town facility rental fee, from $25 to $100, and maintain the $75 deposit.
Second.
And would you be doing that by resolution 2018-7?
That's what I said.
Okay.
Thank you. It
Okay,
is on yours, isn't it? There is a resolution.
what about the baseball diamond rentals?
Take that second.
We'll do, oh, we got a motion and a second, let's vote on that first. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we have that, now we have the baseball diamond rental fees.
I might just pick that up to the same thing, $100, and I'll make a motion to change park picnic facilities. That includes the diamonds, I assume?
Well, there's that's the rental for
I don't see
the,
the diamonds on here, so.
Well,
yeah,
Oh, field reservation fees and charges, I'm sorry.
right,
You skip right over, yeah.
$40.
I got you.
Well, yeah, under miscellaneous fees, we got field use at 40, all-day field rental during the week, 250, and weekend, 500. Mike didn't submit what he wanted the fees to be, did he? He just gave examples what the committee would charge him.
we did that. I did ask Mike, but he didn't respond. But I remember him saying that he thought they were.
you
Yeah.
want to table this and bring it back?
Yeah, why don't, I would like to see what Mike wants to
Then you can
charge,
you can talk to him and,
Yeah.
all right, I'll make a motion to table this.
Table the whole
Or-
thing?
No, just the baseball
Field reservation fees and
reservations
charges.
and rentals. Till the next meeting, 2 weeks, give you enough time to talk to him on that, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, park picnic facilities, we skipped right over it, and that's still gonna be there,
That's what they rent. That little pavilion there?
yeah. Well, town facilities, is that what we're talking about? We're not talking about here, or the fire department, or,
Town facilities would be the fire department here. That's the park picnic area.
so that's what we're calling a town facility.
No, that's separate.
Picnic.
It's $25.
Town facilities.
Yeah, park picnic facility, we didn't do anything with that.
No.
That's what I'm saying. We didn't make a motion on that.
Where are you reading that?
It's 2 down from town
Yeah,
facilities.
it's under rental.
We skipped by it, I'm trying to point out.
Should you take out the VAC rental? The
Yeah, I
VAC?
would say that should go. That's what I'm wondering, why are you charging money for renting that?
Well, I wanna know how you can get $200 for that
There's
one.
2 separate fees. The facility is on there. Vernon Activity Center, which is gonna be gone.
We can't
So that's
charge
gone.
for that.
But the park and picnic facility,
You can charge for it.
yeah, why don't we put the 100 on that?
That's fine, is that, you wanna make that motion?
I'll make a
I
motion,
think that's high for,
Yeah, that's all it is a cover.
yeah, that's pretty high, Ed.
$50.
It doesn't matter, but I think $100. That we get a lot of, like,
I know there's a lot of activity,
Right.
picnics and stuff out there, quite a few.
Family picnics and
You-
stuff.
All right, I'll make a motion to make park picnic facilities $50 with I don't know, $25, how much damage can they do out there? Refundable fee,
we have a $75 now.
yeah, why don't we make it $75, how much damage could they do out there?
They could do a
Our
lot.
biggest thing is cleaning up the garbage. Usually, all those garbage
All right, let's
bins
leave it
are
at
full.
$75 then, that's my motion, in reference to resolution.
Well, you're gonna have to do the resolution after you get all these fees
After,
done.
Right. So, then we're gonna table the baseball fields.
Yes, and then I should take out
Jeff
the,
seconded that, right?
and Chairman, did you say to take out the VAC because of its
Yeah.
condition? Okay.
So we'll do Eddie's motion next, any more discussion on Eddie's motion?
I still think $50 is too high to rent that pavilion.
think so?
Yeah.
30?
I'd go 35 at most,
25?
35.
35?
You guys are funny.
I'll give you a friendly amendment for $35.
Okay, any more discussion?
Going once, going twice.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And then I'll make that motion to table the baseball fields rentals.
Oh, I have that.
Better, huh?
Till Jeff, we didn't vote on that, did we?
No, we tabled the baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Table.
I'll make a motion to table.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Now are you voting on the resolution?
Yes, now we go to the resolution.
So we're waiting for Jeff to respond on those, right?
You can do the resolution and then do another resolution after you finish. But if you want these fees to be in effect tomorrow, you'd have to do the resolution today.
You wanna make a motion?
To table it?
No.
Oh, for the
To
resolution.
adopt resolution 2018-07, a resolution adopting the 2018 fee schedule.
And remember, we have these, every once in a while, they pop up during the
Yeah.
year, so this is pretty much a living document.
I know, yeah.
This one will supersede the last one.
It'll have a different
Karen, I make a
adoption.
motion to, go by that resolution, you can fill in the numbers, would you please?
Got it?
I can't find my sheet.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I know it's on.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right. Item E, job description for the appointed position of clerk treasurer for the town of Vernon. I want to put that on there to start with, the discussion on that. In the packet here, you have, some examples. So what do you want to do with that, gentlemen? We've got a, vote from the town to, not have an elected treasurer, not have an elected clerk, and to combine clerk treasurer position. So with that, we need a job description for that position. And we've got a timeline for hiring the clerk treasurer. My thoughts would be that clerk treasurer should probably be on board, I would say by January 1. So for training, for tax purposes, for elections coming up, all of the above.
Well, Karen gave us a list of the duties by statutory requirements in our packet. But this, according to her memo, it doesn't reflect the total amount of duties that are involved in regard to her office. How much problem would it be for you to generate some kind of a list in supplementing this job description for that are statutorily required, Karen?
That's not a problem. I can have it ready for you next board meeting.
Okay, because I would
Yeah,
sure
what we're doing
I'd
is
sure like to
starting
see,
a-
I know
starting a
what you
discussion
do,
on that.
but I don't know, that would help us in regard to possibly establishing a job description for the position when we have to put it out to the general public for interviews.
But we know when we got out of county zoning, she picked up quite a few tasks involved in that.
Yeah.
So her question here, would you like me to provide the additional duties I do as your town clerk and normally are not part of the position? The answer would be yes. On the second one, being that I'm on the ordinance committee and I got a feeling somebody's gonna fall over toward me, you also mentioned that the town clerk is mentioned 102 times and the treasurer 14 times in our ordinances. Can you do a search and identify what chapters those are under so we can?
I have it all ready for you.
You did?
The only thing I have not done yet is I didn't touch the employee handbook yet.
Okay.
And we have to go through all the forms and policy, we have to go through everything, search everything and bring that, for all
Employee
your
handbook, is that something better done by?
personnel.
Personnel
Or done by our personnel committee or our attorney for?
Well, we're probably gonna have to have labor attorney look at.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned we have 2 people on board that are HR people. Maybe worthwhile to have one of them invited into some of the meetings, just to get an idea where the legal status on some of the, I used to know most HR rules. I don't, they change so much, I wouldn't even. attempt.
Labor laws are,
Yeah, every year there's,
But I definitely would
they
like to
change their
see
mind on what an HR rule is.
a supplemented list of your extra extra duties that you do.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
half of the stuff with the planner, it's not even in the
No, that,
job description that we have now for the clerk.
or working with John's office.
Exactly, so it needed to be rewritten anyways.
Yeah.
do you want the stormwater stuff that I do?
Oh, yeah. Everything that
The
you
permit
do.
and the
Let's
tax
see-
bills
See
and,
somebody apply for
okay.
that job to write the stormwater, report.
well, John could do it.
Just copy and change it here, huh?
No, he
No, I'm just
could.
saying, that isn't listed in the
They're not small
statute, state
tax.
statute. That's something we delegated
Right.
for you to do, because you said that you could do
Well,
it,
this
you did it,
position now is a hired position. We can write the job description.
whatever we want.
We have to stay within the legal parameters from the clerks, from the statutes, but we can also, put that as part of the job description,
Sure.
Well, if anybody applies for this job, those are direct questions that could come up to bear on whether they are successful in getting the job too.
Mhm.
I mean, if you can't do some of these things, you don't wanna put somebody in that position.
That was the whole idea.
Well, this is no
combining
longer an
your-
elected position, does this, the statutes not pertain to?
No, you'd still have to have somebody provide the statutory obligations of a clerk and you have to have someone that's gonna do your elections and some of the statutory requirements of a clerk and of a treasurer. But you could do that, you could be pretty creative, and you're gonna be surprised the type of candidates that,
Will come out.
yeah. I mean, they might need a little training in some areas or other areas, but you're gonna be pleased.
Right.
On page 1, number 5 at the bottom, how far-reaching is that sale of real property? Town clerk shall execute the conveyance of real property of the town. Conveyance is actually signing a deed.
And a clerk can't do anything without town board approval.
That was my question.
Right,
about
absolutely.
ordinances.
There's a procedure that's done after that happens, but it's mainly all the administrative work of what the board delineates. The clerk has no power to do that on her own.
I would think so, yeah.
It's all town board.
I think it would be good if we just clarified at the end, subject to town board approval.
Well,
And
I
then-
don't think this is gonna get rewritten.
And then maybe too,
The
instead,
ordinance is gonna get
Yeah.
rewritten.
oh, yeah.
This definitely will go to ordinance committee.
So we gotta get started on it now, cause
Yeah.
it's gonna roll around quick.
Well, that's what I'm saying, that's my personal thoughts, is
I
by
agree with
January
you.
1 to have somebody on board.
Cause it's gonna take a procedure.
And we've got, budget
Yep.
in there, and you got holidays in there, and
Yep.
we're gonna be busy this fall. Okay, so do you need a motion for anything, Madam Clerk?
No, I don't. I think I know what direction you'd want to go. I'll bring some more information for you to review at the next board meeting, and as I bring the information, and then when you want me to back off, I'll just back away.
Yeah, this will probably be on the agenda for the next month or so.
Oh, yeah.
But, it may take different views so we can talk about the stuff. And if anybody thinks of anything, let Madam Clerk know so the rest of us can understand what you're thinking about, so she can disseminate that, so we got everybody thinking about this, all right? All right. Can we relax the rules and take a comment from
Sure.
Mr. Riley?
I don't have a problem.
All right, come
I
on
have
in, Joe.
one question first, if you care.
Sure.
Or a request. In your fourth paragraph, you talk about towns that do have that already, where they have a job description written up. Waukesha, I think, was one you said. Can you get a copy of something?
I'll get you several. There's some really good town examples, there's some good village examples, and there's some good cities. So I'll get you several really good ones to review.
Don't we want to just stick with towns?
Okay,
Because cities are gonna have different ordinances than us and.
but you want big towns, you don't want little towns.
No, big
No,
town.
Yeah.
We're gonna be.
Town of
okay with that.
Waukesha,
Town of Wanago, Town of Grand Chute,
Guadalupe, you said had an issue because they have a
administrator.
administrator as well, and that'll muddy the waters a little bit, so maybe skip Guadalupe.
But you could just
Write
take
it out?
that, if you see what she does and what I do,
Okay.
you don't have, you can call it a turtle, whatever, it's the job, you know.
Is administrator similar to the board over there, or is it like a director of departments, or what is it?
No, it's just like John is in the village of McGuanago, he's an administrator.
Oh.
It's a,
Yeah.
it's a title.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to relax the rules to have
Sure, I'll
Riley
second
speak.
it. Did
All
somebody
those in
second?
favor?
Yeah.
Aye. Opposed? Aye.
Joe Riley, South 67 West 24425, Skyline Avenue. Thank you very much. Just this one point, I think you hit it right on the cusp. The commentary from Supervisor Wiley, from our town chairman, from our Madam Clerk.
Joe, you-
The significance of knowledge and experience in writing that job description. Anyone can run for town clerk. While there are minimal statutory duties, there is no guarantee that whoever is elected has the knowledge or the experience necessary to fulfill those duties. Everyone wants the right person, but because the town clerk's position has evolved into a more complex and technical one in nature in recent decades, okay, I feel an appointed one would overall be better than an elected one. When a town board appoints the town clerk, they can set specific requirements and qualifications above and beyond the statutory requirements. Versus simply, someone being elected based on public opinion. Moreover, since most residents in this town appreciate the town's being thrifty with their tax dollars, I don't think they would appreciate the idea of electing a figurehead town clerk, because some communities have that, who would then require the town board to hire an extensive administrative staff. I believe most of the residents can remember when one of the candidates for that office several years ago publicly stated that she was very good at delegating, and she meant that in the best sort of way. But that's one of the dramatic things that changes. You want somebody who has all the qualifications that you think are necessary to do the type of job I think that we're presently getting. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Item F here is timeline for interview and hiring for the proposed appointed clerk treasurer for the town of Vernon. Here, gentlemen, I had put together, we've got a timeline here for, we are now in the 4th month. What I'd like you to do is take a look at this. If this needs to be expanded or added to or whatever, I wanted to put this in front of you. This is Madam Clerk and myself, we put this together. So I want you to take a look at it, and then we'll talk about it next time, and bring your comments and concerns, or give them to the clerk so she can put a add or subtract or ask questions or whatever you gotta do with this. All right? But I'd like to have a timeline. Seems to work best. You get a timeline, then it's kind of a roadmap that, hey, we gotta get together, or we gotta do this, or we gotta have a meeting on that, or we gotta approve this, and so.
We're the 5th month. You
Oh,
lost
that's
one
right, I
already.
lost a month. Yeah, we're here in the 5th month.
Hurry up.
So that means we've got 1, 2, 3, 7 months.
7.
Yeah.
All right, a lot of work to do there. Thanks.
Yep.
So if you would, that'll be on the agenda for,
Next agenda?
next agenda item.
He
And,
wants to come in with some ideas of,
well, yeah, if you got any ideas or want something changed or wanna add something added or whatever, get it to the clerk so we can get it on there for next time. Item G, updating the town of Vernon employee handbook, ordinances, policy schedule, and forms regarding the appointed position. This one here kinda goes along with, this one. I want you guys to start thinking about that, so we can talk about it. And
I don't have a copy of the handbook.
employee handbook?
I'll get it before you
can
leave.
get one.
Thank you.
Does anybody else not have a copy of the employee handbook?
I thought I had one, but I'm not
Why
sure.
don't you get it?
I'll make-
Well, you put them in all the mailboxes.
Okay.
So everybody gets one.
You know,
Okay.
place mine in.
So that'll be on the list too, for next time. Okay, bartender's license for Sean
Prescott.
Prescott.
Mr. Chairman, everything is in order for Scott's application for a bartender's license. You can see he's passed his course, he's paid all the fees, and he has an impeccable record.
I'll make a motion to approve the bartender license for Sean Prescott.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Review invoice 4277, a charge to Tony Sheffield for the property located on National Avenue. Madam Clerk.
Gentlemen, as the ordinance indicates, whenever there is a bill that's on the legal or engineering bill from our attorney or planner, that's automatically charged to the person that signed for the reimbursement form. I just wanted the town board to just talk about this because I didn't want to overstep my bounds. I did as the ordinance indicated. However, Mr. Scafidi had a violation, which we thought he was in the town until Chairman Byrd indicated that the line of the jurisdiction has to move because of what was discovered when MW Marine was thinking of purchasing that property. So Mr. Scafidi did come in. We told him he had to make an appointment with the planner. He did that. He came in and talked to the planner, and then we found out that he's not in our jurisdiction. I did email Andrea. She indicates that he has no intention of starting a business. He told the county that he's removing everything slowly. But I just wanted to check with the board, not that I did something that you wouldn't want me to. The other ones on the invoices were clear. This one has a little bit of different history, so I just wanted you to talk about it and see if it's warranted or if I should make any changes.
I think the key word there is slowly. Now, in my estimation, he's paid $217, he's paid that money already?
No, he hasn't paid anything yet.
He hasn't paid anything. All right. So what do you want us to do with this? This needs to you want this to go away?
No, I want the board to, I billed him as our ordinance indicates. I followed the law, but I felt I should at least let you know that this isn't a normal.
Right.
You know, I just wanted you to know the history. If you think what I did was fine, that's fine. If you think I did something wrong, I could void it, but I would never do that without your permission.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to know the story. Whatever you do is fine. I felt compelled you should.
My thoughts on this is that we will take this off of the books if and when he gets that cleaned up. Otherwise, we have no leverage.
True.
It's not our jurisdiction, but we've got a bill to him, and he can just thumb his nose at it.
That might be an incentive for him to do the clean up the operation.
Well, I haven't seen any movement out there for a month.
No?
He's got all his equipment off, but there's a lot of wood on the property. All his trailers and bulldozers and skid loaders, that's all gone.
And he says he has no plans of running a business there.
Yeah, the county explained to him what he'd have to go through the county and the town. And he decided not to.
It's
Right.
worth it.
Right.
So do we do this with a letter explaining to them that we'd be happy to remove this charge once you've cleaned up your property to satisfaction of our inspector?
Do whatever you guys want.
That sounds like.
I'd like to
just
send
wanted
them a
to throw
letter
that out there,
explaining why
just-
we're not dropping the charge until it's done.
Well, those are my thoughts, you know?
Yeah, make them aware of the fact he's gotta finish what we asked him to do.
He's gotta clean it up.
Yeah.
Well, what bothers me is all of us, including myself, jump through a lot of hoops to do anything related to business in this community. And that's fine, I'm not opposed to that. Here some guy comes in out of the clear blue, truckload on truckload of wood, never calls anyone to question. If someone had been called and the error were made early on, I'd agree totally. But this is an individual who came in, started dumping, started splitting, started selling, had a wood rack right in the road right away for literally weeks, even after he was reprimanded by the building inspector. And I think we're setting a horrible precedent. Granted, it's jurisdiction of Waukesha County. However, we got involved in it. It cost us money simply because we're protecting the interests of the town. If this person had done some kind of due diligence to start with, called someone, I don't care if it's a clerk, the building inspector, said, can I do this? And then we were wrong, that's a different story. But I don't like the idea of looking at just nullifying $217.80 when we had a building inspector involved several trips out there. Our planner was involved, I don't know how many hours he had into it. And it was all because someone just didn't worry about checking what he was doing and who will permit it or won't permit it. So,
A question, if I may. Says after you go, we found out this is in county shoreline zoning. Not the whole property, right? Wasn't it just the back area? I thought when we looked at this.
There's a lot.
We were told,
It's probably got like 2 feet.
I thought we were told that.
No, you're-
1,000 feet from the navigable waterway.
And the public hearing for that
So even that
clarification,
Woody stacked out next to the road in the right of way,
that's all county.
they
County
own the
jurisdiction.
right of way.
The county owns that, yeah.
Well, they got the legal say
Right,
so on what
yeah.
happens on that property.
We don't have jurisdiction.
Nope.
Should have never did any of this, what we did.
Right.
Should have never got involved.
Yep.
I agree with you, Bill, but
You're never gonna get the money.
you're never gonna get the money. And then if you, more time for the clerk sending letters, how are you gonna enforce any of those letters?
well, right now, we're telling them, there will be no charge if you clean it up. That's like saying we have a right to hold the money. If we're forgiving the debt, if he cleans it up, we're saying we have jurisdiction, or we have the money.
We want them to clean it up.
Kind
Right.
of bluff.
And we'll
Yeah,
take
that's
the bill
play a
and
bluff.
we can't get anything. How are we gonna get them to clean it up otherwise?
Well, the county will have to use legal.
What,
take legal.
what do you think the bets are on county cleaning it up?
I'll stay on their case, cause, I'm going by there 3-4 times a day.
Remember the list we used to have from the county for things we kept asking every month for them to fix and get rid of?
Well, Karen's been in contact
Good
with
luck.
them,
I just don't wanna throw any more money at it.
Nope. No.
Another penny.
I don't wanna
is
see
too
it
much.
showing up on the
Penny is too much.
Aging.
aging report every month, yeah. And it would. It's gonna end up on the aging report.
so, I think we're setting a bad precedent here, that's what I think. Let him fight it, if he feels we're not entitled to it, let him go fight it.
Well, but the county's already told, or we've been told by the county that we're not entitled to because it's not our property. And apparently he's aware of it.
Sure you got a letter.
So we're gonna send our building inspector back there 2-3 more times.
Yeah, I
Who's
wouldn't
gonna
do that
have,
either.
who's gonna verify it's totally cleaned up?
The county has to, we can't send Vince out.
Will they physically go out there and?
Andrea Heidemann is the one that indicated, she also indicated if we saw something substantial to let
He
her
doesn't even
know.
own that property, does he?
No.
It's not even the
We don't
owner.
have any leverage at all.
No.
We can't even put that charge against the property, because he doesn't even own the property.
That whole thing was done just, very, very underhandedly, the way it was
By
done.
him.
He's looking right across the road at 25 businesses. They all come in here and get permits to operate. But I won't worry about that. I'll bring 25 dump trucks of fire in. I'll cut it here, I'll split it here, pile it all over the place, and let somebody try and stop me.
So what do you wanna do, gentlemen?
You really think you can get the county to do something?
Wait,
I don't think we can do about it. I can have a problem with, took our planner, spent almost 2 hours on it, and didn't realize it wasn't in our jurisdiction.
Well, Sean wasn't around when that whole MW Marine, that was Jamie. And in defense of Sean, the maps are wrong, that's why we're having a public hearing in June to correct that, so.
I'll never put it on.
Well, you know, the Derby's coming, and we're sitting here beating a dead horse as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna run. You can ask for the money all you want, he knows he doesn't have to pay you. So, to me, it's a waste of time, but if Phil wants to put the time over the county, I don't object.
Tell him we'll pursue the 217 if he gets rid of all the wood. Send him a letter.
Is that your motion?
Is that your motion?
I think that's my motion.
Hold on to it, and
Is there a second to Gary's motion?
what was Gary's
I,
motion?
we send him a letter indicating that we'll, forgive the 217 if and when the wood is all removed from the property.
When the property becomes in compliance?
Right, in compliance, right.
I put a time limit on it too, Gary.
Pardon?
Put a time limit on
No later than,
No later than
it, end of the year or something.
6 months, about 6 months.
How about 3?
3 months, okay. Do I hear 2? Oh, 3 is fine.
I don't wanna see this under the agenda.
No,
July.
yeah, I hear you, yeah.
Any more discussion?
I'm sorry, who seconded that? I'm sorry.
Need a second.
Eddie,
Oh,
you have a second? Thought you did. I thought you did second it. No?
Sure I did.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain.
Okay. Sound Vernon newsletter?
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to state we're going to replace the one article with, because of the tremendous amount of phone calls we're having on bulk pickup, we'd like to put information in regards what is actually allowed in a bulk pickup. Until John and I went through the contract again, I didn't realize we picked up tires.
Huh?
Tires.
Tires.
You don't wanna do that.
No, we don't, but Advance does.
Yeah.
The residents can put 4 tires out. 4 tires
I'd
out.
say you get rid of some. I didn't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that would be invaluable, and to repeat it several times, and what is allowed and what's not allowed. And then you could put the other article in when you get a little further along in the process.
So you put 4 tires out and they'll pick those up?
Yeah, once a month.
Says right here, up to 4 auto or pickup tires per customer each calendar month with rims removed.
Yeah, you have to have the rims off, but
But they'll pick up the rims too, if you want them picked up, I believe, right, John?
the rims have to be removed though. I think they'll
okay.
pick up the rims.
Just the tires, I think.
It says automotive parts, but they,
Take that to scrapyard and get it pinned up on them.
would that be okay? We did type it up today and I sent it into because there's a couple parts in the addendum in the contract that aren't clear. but I want to see his response, because the contract's a contract.
What precipitated this, I put some items out to be picked up, and just to be on the safe side, I called Advanced Disposal, and first of all, I wasn't real happy with the lady I talked to, because she kind of, first thing she said, where do you live? I said, town of Vernon. She said, is that Waukesha County? So I knew I was in trouble right then and there. But, because she wasn't probably aware, and I'm sure each community has its own contract, so I said, then I explained the situation. She said, each of those items is $35. And I said, oh, wait, I'm not picking that up for $35. I'll get rid of it some other way. So I called John, and John investigated it, and that's when where we're at is where we're at. The contract is not, it's not, I wasn't aware that you could get rid of tires. That's a major thing as far as I'm concerned. But if that's a truism, that would eliminate some of the problems we have of tires being disposed of by Midnight Supply alongside the town roads.
Got quite the collection in the back end.
Yeah.
It also says yard waste.
Pardon?
It also says brush and yard waste. That's one of the questions I have into the, yeah, I'll show you the contract.
Oh, okay.
I think it
Well,
needs to be discussed. We'll
Yeah.
just
I think
go
once
over
we
it.
investigate it, then if we could get a clarification and have it published in a newsletter, would really be helpful. Other than that, it's a
So,
nice newsletter.
I'm gonna reiterate a comment I had, for Park and Rec. You need to look at that page. Let's see if I'm on this. Youth summer camps in June. There's the header, Karen. I don't see
Okay.
a page number, but here's what it looks like.
Okay, and it mentions it's at the VAC?
It mentioned camp will be held at Town Field in Vernon Activity Center.
Okay. I'll talk to Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's just a oversight.
I think that was the old wording, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It also calls for him having office hours Monday 9 to 11:30. Is that factual?
No.
I just saw emails from you on someone trying to get a hold of him by phone.
Well, and in defense of Mike, he said that woman did not leave her phone number.
That's a good way. not to
So,
get a call.
we did email, that's all clarified. But
Okay.
yeah. But he
Well, if
does
he's not
come
gonna
in.
commit to the hours, it shouldn't be in the newsletter.
Right.
I mean, he does stop in, but in all fairness to Mike, he gets more, people need him on the phone more than they need him sitting here in the office. But that's just my opinion.
Being paid to sit here for a while, part of the job. I'll leave it up to you guys to decide what you wanna do, but I don't like the fact it's published and he's not here.
Take it out, or take it out.
He's needed more in the field usually than in the office.
He's more on the weekends.
We should change that and have, call him on his cell phone or whatever.
Email, yeah.
There are no office hours, email, some other way to contact them. People are gonna assume they can come up here and meet him at that time,
Yeah.
if it's in the bulletin. So I'm just saying, fix the bulletin.
We'll fix the newsletter.
Anything else?
Nope.
Is there a motion?
Need a motion to fix the bulletin?
Well, prove it.
I'll make a
Look
motion to
for
accept the
correction.
bulletin with the changes discussed earlier.
Okay.
2 changes discussed earlier.
Is there a second?
I'll second
Discussion?
it. Hey,
All,
Karen,
what?
I just had a question for Karen. The section on the peddler's permit,
Mm-hmm.
there has been no peddler permit issued to the town of Vernon, is there?
No, and just so the board member, I know you guys know this, but if we ever issue one, it's going to be on the front page of the website. Because that's been instrumental in picking up people that are not doing good things in Vernon. So anytime there's one that's actually approved, it's on the front page that there's an approved peddler's permit, and they click on it and they can see the picture ID. But we have none.
So there's, seems to be some going around lately.
Yes, and please call the sheriff's department. They want to hear from the residents.
Right.
Okay, been moved secondly to, accept the newsletter with corrections. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, correspondence. I have none.
I just had one lady call who was concerned about the elimination of the brush pickup after the annual meeting. I told her, watch the agenda, we'll put it on there, she can come express her concerns at that point. That's all I had.
Gary?
I also did receive one call regarding that, and I gave her the same information that Jeff indicated, that this has not been firmed up. There's a lot of options, and that there's going to be a discussion by the town board in the future here, and just pay attention to the agenda. And if you have any comments, come on down at that time and make your position known. Other than that, the only other thing I had was I met with the staff and the administration of Norris Farm this morning, and we just to clarify some issues that some residents had asked about in regard to safety and the ability of how to control their residents over there. And I came away with a good feeling in regard to how they're trying to proceed over there. A lot of it is in misconception and misinformation, and I indicated to them what they'd like to see them do is come to the town board and maybe make a presentation once every couple of months or something, just to give an update as to what's happening over there. And because we can get the information out through Channel 25 a lot easier than just talking to individuals one-on-one, and this way they can get it right from the horse's mouth. And also indicated that there's the newsletters available if they want to put some information in there regarding what they're doing and an update, and they seem like they're pretty happy with that. So we'll probably be hearing more about them in the future. So other than that, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have.
Thank you. Yes?
I have nothing at this time. A question for Gary. When you were there, did they talk at all about staffing levels? Because when we were there for that open house they had,
They did.
they were way back on staffing and personnel. I mean, both from administrative and students.
Well, they indicated to me that the staffing level for the residents is approximately 8 to 1. One staff member for each eight individuals. They do not have the quantity of people there that they have a license for. They are licensed for up to 40. They only have 15 people that are bussed in on a daily basis, and they have about 10 or 15 that are permanent residents there overnight. So and the individuals they have there are ones that are getting intensive counseling, and they get a lot of personal attention.
Looks like a better crew based on the police report.
Yeah, the whole staff over there has changed. They have a massive turnover of individuals.
The director?
Yeah, the director's gone, and they have a whole new staff. So their whole philosophy is kind of swung around in regard to their ability to take care of residents.
That's quite a shakeup.
Yeah.
That's all I have. Just question.
Bill?
No, it's been pretty quiet for me.
I got nothing.
Nothing? Madam Clerk?
Oh, John, you had a big report.
Well, I got a report, but not a correspondence.
Oh, you wanted to report, don't
Yeah,
you?
you wanna do
He's
the
got a big
report?
one. I typed
I
it
can,
up.
keep going.
I got it all in there.
All right. Well, as far as what we have got going on, we've been pretty busy crack filling for the last, since the beginning of April. Weather permitting, obviously. We've been actually very productive with that, except for the last day or two with the rain, obviously. So we've been doing real well. And like I say, we pushed the brush pickup back 2 weeks so we could accommodate a little more crack fill, and a lot of the residents give them a little more time to get their brush out because of the inclement weather. I have we will be starting the brush pickup on the 14th on the east side of Center Drive, and on May 21st, we will start the west side of town. And I have the chipper already scheduled for the 29th, so it's the day after Memorial Day. So hopefully that week we will be delivering all the wood chips that we have, the orders or people put in there or order forms for. Heather Ridge ball diamonds, we have them rough graded. They're looking pretty good. Went up there this morning. They're not holding water like they were, so I'm hoping the tile that we put in is being productive. So, I had a meeting on Tuesday morning with Andy Schultz and Mike Benish from Painted Dolan to nail down some times for our road paving. On the 16th of July, they're gonna start pulverizing, and they're looking at that whole week, probably, possibly into Saturday if they're paving. So they might be going into Saturday. But the prior week, starting on the 9th, they will be coming down, saw cutting driveways, and starting the prep work for that. Which means, as soon as our brush pickup is done, for us, we gotta get those culverts done and some ditching done. So, and I think that'll give us basically the whole month of June. So we should be in great shape to be ready for them, so. That's all I got.
Question for you. Over on Martin Drive there, I'd like to go over there and take a look at you with that. So, I can't do it tomorrow, but, middle of next week, you
Mhm.
gotta have time?
Sure. We could, what needs to be done over there, we have to transit that, trying to get some heights, what's going on
That's
there.
what I'm saying, you could maybe do a little research before
Yeah.
that, then we can come back in
Yeah.
and maybe spend a morning and,
Yeah,
okay. Something we can look at and present to the town board or
right.
whatever like that.
Yeah, see if there's any, like I said, some of those
If
ditches.
there's anything we can do or whatever,
Yep,
you know.
we can only do what we can do in our right of way. Obviously, and if it needs something we can do, we
It
can do
looks like, you know, it hasn't been tended to for a while, so there's possibly things we can do.
I think it's just,
Aren't they in the low spot though, or is really no place for the water to go
right,
without digging the ditches so much deeper?
Exactly.
But then where's the water still go after that? It's,
Well, that's what I'm saying, we gotta take a look at it.
open up a can of worms kind of
Yeah.
deal. But I think, like I said, we gotta take a look at it. If there is culverts, or if there is culverts there that need to be cleaned out, well, that is up to us, so.
Biggest thing is you don't wanna move the problem from one spot to the
Yeah.
That's what I told them. I told them straight out when I was there today. We can't put your water on somebody else's property.
Right.
So,
We gotta be careful.
you know,
Madam Clerk?
Very,
can auger a hole down for it to run into drain through them.
Just put a pipe out to the park next door. Fill up their pond.
Yeah. They got a big lake out there.
I just wanted to announce very quickly that I have a flyer that's up. This is up on the website about electronics and appliance recycling event. This is in the city of Muskego on May 12th from 9 till noon, and you'll see some other alternatives in Waukesha County for your TV sets. We get a lot of requests for that. Also, Open Book was held on May 2nd. We had 4 people come for Open Book. Just want to remind the residents that if they missed Open Book and there is some issue in regards to their assessment, they need to call the assessor, because the town of Vernon will have Board of Review on May 29th, starting at 6 p.m., and it's very difficult for the board to make any changes during Board of Review.
May 29th or 22nd, Karen?
29th.
It is the 29th.
29th. Also, I just wanted to state that for residents that don't have cable, all of our neighboring libraries, they can either listen to the Town of Vernon meetings, and some of the libraries have capability for them to look on YouTube and watch the meeting. So if you hear that question that I don't have internet or whatever, any library, any public library has that alternative, and that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you. Finances, accounts payable, May 3rd.
Had to be one of the smallest accounts payable in a long time.
I went through and didn't find a thing.
No, I didn't either, didn't have many to go through.
Are you disappointed?
I'm disappointed.
Yeah. Spend all that time for nothing. No, if there's no objection, I'd make a motion to approve accounts payable batch 2018-0503 in the amount of $20,145.70.
Second it?
I'll second. Did someone say?
Yeah.
Here he did.
I just had a comment on, and Mike isn't here to answer it, so I don't know if we'll get an answer. Bernhardt Sporting Goods, $420, and those were almost all volleyball, soccer balls, I'm sorry.
Oh,
We're
his
spending that-
his Pee-wee program is big. There's a lot of,
Or what,
oh, 6 o'clock. What's that, I'm sorry? He's got a lot of little peanuts, they all get a free little soccer ball, and then he has to replace soccer balls for the big kids, so that's,
so it actually is replacement, huh?
yes, he's that,
I wouldn't think they'd get that much wear and tear in here.
yeah, no, that's not all the little peanut, but he's gotta replace, you know, he goes through those and triages ones that aren't gonna make it, so.
That's all I have.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
There is one manual check, Mr. Chairman.
Make a motion to approve the manual check in the amount of $6,946.62 to Wisconsin Building Inspection.
Vince.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Minutes for April 17th, 2018.
I move we approve the April 17, 2018 minutes.
I'll second.
Holy moly.
Hey! Sorry, Scouts.
Who's saying that, Ed?
I did.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right. Next meeting date, May 17th, 6 p.m. There'll be a staff meeting May 24th at 1 p.m. All at the town hall here. Any public comments? Any public comments?
We'd just like to express our thanks.
Come on up.
Oh,
We'd like to
I'm not
see.
actually, you're in charge.
Gene Simon.
We can do this together if you want to.
You need to know who you
Well, I need to know Gene Simon, who lives on Millbrook, and Mr. Giram, do you live on,
West 237, S7615 High Point Court.
High Point, I was gonna say Vernon Hills Drive, sorry.
Close.
Just wanted to thank you for making us welcome at the town board meeting this evening. It was a nice experience for the scouts. So Troop 26, thanks you.
Yes, thank you for sharing your time and this is a good experience. The scouts got their money's worth tonight.
Probably all wanna move.
I didn't see any of them falling asleep there.
So that they riveted.
Now they learn they're gonna watch it on YouTube and stay home.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad, we put them to sleep on TV.
Yeah, this is for the Citizenship and the Community Merit Badge. So
Good.
you see us in here every once in a while, and Gene does a great job of leading that merit badge for us.
Oh, thank you.
And you guys do a lot of nice things for the community. Great organization.
The Scout program's a great program. Like I say, I hope some of these young men here make it to Eagle.
Oh, I have no doubt some of them will. Thank you.
Good.
Thanks, Gene.
Following the steps of others, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other public comments? Any other public comments? All right, there announces a possible closed session. Again, it'll be consideration of possible action for state statute 19.85 Pren 1 Pren C, 19.85 Pren 1 Pren D, and 19.85 Pren 1 Pren E. And 19.1, Pren 1, Pren E, there we go. Requires a roll call vote.
First, we need a motion.
So moved.
As stated by the town chair and as printed on the agenda.
Correct.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Chairman Thomas Byrd?
Yes.
Supervisor Jeff Millies?
Yes.
Supervisor Gary Wildy?
Yes.
Supervisor Ed Moline?
Yes.
Supervisor Bill Craig?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll note for the record that your town board has voted to go into closed session unanimously.
All right, closed session at 7:42.